welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. And as usual, Budge and I get straight into it with the last one standing. It's gone from 29 to 22.
22, Paul. Only
22.
7 went out.
Tottenham, 10 went through. Arsenal, Newcastle, Aston Villa, West Ham, Liverpool, and Man City took people through. The ones to go, Chelsea, Brighton, and Everton.
Everton, yeah, one poor soul.
2 ladies left, Budge. Fiona Trisman, Tracy Anderson, it's nearly 10% ladies. Well done, girls. And then 5 internationals. Left-footed Greg Badenhorst in the Netherlands, Tace Statler, a farmer in Namibia, Regan Moyer
in
London, Jason Dunbar, London, and Neil Horsman, London.
Yeah.
Twills in London. 1 post-net entrant, hanging tough, Anthony Pollock.
Yeah, fighting
Hanging
hard,
tough,
Paul.
Anthony staying there. 2 former champions, always got to. Hassan Moore, you've always got to watch him, always. And Skip Wallace, he's always in the scrum too.
Our first winner.
And the tote favourite's got to be Mark Curry. He's got multiple picks. There's only 22 left.
Yeah, and he got 2 picks, Paul, but still, 2's better than 1.
Yeah, Mark Curry. Okay. Other entrants remaining. I always like to have a look at this. You can tell me who they are, bud.
Yeah.
Vikesh Arulnathan.
For Gary Green.
Okay, that's some decoys way. Dave Harker.
Yeah, Pirates man.
Mark Tuttle.
Yep.
Dave O'Connor.
Yeah.
Is the other one gone? The other
Devin
O'Connor.
went out on Chelsea, unfortunately.
Gavin Wright, the baseballer.
Yeah.
Jeff Ward.
Yeah.
Sawa Khan. I don't know.
From the beginning, Paul.
From beginning, eh? Stan Berger.
He runs the Pirates kitchen. He's the chef there.
His name's Berger and he runs the kitchen.
No pun intended.
His brother to Hamburger.
And he's a West Ham man.
West Ham man, having a good start this season, struggling. Lyle McNeil.
Yeah.
Plays for
He was
Everton.
big mates with Gary Green, yeah.
Another decoy Doug man, eh? And Paula de Carmen, the breeder. He's always in the scrum too. He lurks. He lurks with intent. Right, Stevie B, is he in London? Where is he in the world? Madeira, Hong Kong?
Could be Vancouver for all we know.
Could be LA. Steve, where are you?
Well, at the moment I'm still home, but so home is where the heart is, and I can't go anywhere just yet. Not with the way my team are playing. Can't miss.
They're on fire, Steve.
They're on fire, Fullman.
Well, for the moment, let's see.
Well, I didn't watch any of the.
Soon, but playing well.
Yeah. I didn't watch any of the Champions League games.
Steve, Champions League, we'll go through it. Watch 2 of the game. Bayern Munich, total control against Lazio. Disappointed in Lazio, but Bayern Munich all over them.
Me too. I thought I watched the first game and I thought this could be quite close if Lazio keep it tight. But once Bayern scored, there was only one team in it, and in the end, it was pretty easy for them.
Yeah, not the best of sides, but neither are Lazio. But once they got the first, the writing was on the wall, and PSG 2, Real Sociedad 1. Thank goodness Real Sociedad scored an injury time. Got me a few rand, but Benzema, if he isn't the best player in the world, someone's obviously listening to the radio and not watching the TV.
No, that was pretty. Again, I saw highlights, and once Mbappe scored, it was game over. So, look, the big teams have all gone through as expected, haven't they?
Yeah. Man City 3-1, Steve. I watched the first goal. Akanji scored from the corner. After that, it was one-way traffic. They rested several of the De Bruyne and a couple of the boys, but Haaland did play. I was strange with that decision, but the back all played, and Rodri, but very comfortable. Looked like a friendly match, yeah.
You're right. It was there wasn't much atmosphere. They sort of went through the motions. Copenhagen tried. They scored a good goal. Copenhagen. Elianusi, who was at Southampton last year, scored. But then Haaland sort of scored, and that was it. The second half was almost like a training game. They were 4 goals clear effectively, and Pep wasn't going to take any chances with his big name players. So they did what they had to do, which was get through to the quarterfinals. Yeah,
Real Madrid won, RB Leipzig won, Steve. They were hanging on at the end, Real Madrid.
He lobbed her onto the crossbar.
Yeah, that was closer than maybe some people had thought, although obviously they were always ahead on aggregate. But I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure they're going to their names on the trophy.
No,
I know they're sort of maybe second or third favourites to City, but I just can't see it somehow. So.
Yeah, I'd love them to get City in the next round, get 2 tense games, but they may beat City in a one-off, but over 2 legs they'll get destroyed again. Steve, Europa League and Europa Conference League tonight. We'll go through the English clubs that are still going. Roma, Brighton. That's going to be a tough task for them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Brighton have got a few key injuries.
Yeah.
De Zerbi rested one or two at Fulham, but needed to bring them on in the second half when obviously we went a couple clear. But this is a tough game. I think if they come away with nothing worse than maybe even a 1-goal defeat, then I think that they're in the tie. But not an easy place to go to. Rome, big atmosphere.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a huge game for Brighton. Obviously, first time in Europe, and to go to Rome. So
they're going to get beat.
I wish them well, but I can't see them getting anything.
Lukaku and co will dispatch them very easy, in my opinion. The trick game is Sparta Prague versus Liverpool. What is Jurgen Klopp going to do? Is he going to play the big guns, or is he going to?
Dilemma.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, I think Salah has made the trip, but could he risk him when you've got such a huge game on Sunday? I think it is a dilemma. I think Liverpool want to come away from there with nothing worse than maybe a draw or even a 1-goal defeat, because he knows that he could put out a stronger team in the second leg. But this is a dilemma because he doesn't want to risk key players and having with the injuries that he's got. So it is a trick game. Sparta really should be looking at this and thinking, let's have a go.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool are going to want to try and I think sort of conserve some energy, as it were, for the weekend. But
it won't be easy.
I think Liverpool, they can get a point. They can come away with a draw, but I think that they're going to have to sort of don't think they can just go through the motions tonight.
Yeah, have to plan the break. I think there'll be goals in that particular game. The other English club is Freiburg West Ham. I know they've won the last couple, West Ham, but you just never know what you're going to get from them.
No, well, in Europe they've done well this season.
Even
when their league form has been up and down. In Europe they've done well. I fancied them to get something, and they'd be happy enough to come away from Freiburg all square. And I think they're capable of that. I mean, they've had a couple of good results recently after those sort of big defeats. So, I think they're capable of getting something.
All right. And the big game in the Europa Conference League is Ajax Amsterdam versus Aston Villa. There's no possibility that 8-1 0-0 is going to happen. If there's not 2 or 3 goals in that game, I'll be very surprised.
I think so. I mean, Ajax have obviously turned the corner a bit in Holland. They're not going to get into the Champions League this year. They're too far adrift. But they're obviously fighting for a Europa place. Villa, if they've got. They haven't had any sort of new injuries. I think they're capable of going there and getting a result.
Yeah.
I think they'd be very happy if if it finishes all square. But as you say, I think there'd be goals. The one thing Villa do is score goals, and Ollie Watkins is on fire at the moment. So that will be a really entertaining game.
Yeah, it should be. We'll have it on one of our channels. Be a good watch. Anyway, on to the Premiership for the weekend, and we have an early kickoff on Saturday, and I don't know if I'm going to make the trip, but Man United versus Everton, Steve. This will be a tight game.
I think it will be. I think the betting looks as if it's going to be a bit one-sided. I think it's going to be closer than that. United, you're not sure what you're going to get. Obviously, taken apart in the second half at City. Lost their previous home game, as we know, to Fulham. Everton. Bad result for them last weekend. They haven't won in a few. They were fortunate they got those 4 points back, because otherwise they really would be, in that bottom 3. But they can't afford to lose. I think this could be a very close game. Just needs maybe a little bit of magic from one of United's front 3 to score. They're still without Højlund.
Yeah.
They're desperately. It shows. Without him, that they're struggling, and I think that this would be a low-scoring game. But I think if anyone was to win it, I'd fancy United, but it would be no more than a goal.
Yeah, I just don't like what I've seen without Højlund, and even though we did score first against Man City, I think that was our only shot on target. So wouldn't surprise me whatever happens in this particular game, that any draw. But 28-10 looks the right way to go. Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Steve. I know they're 1-3. Are they that? Should they be that short?
Well, that's superior.
Well, I think it's more a case of how poor Sheffield United have been. Although if you look at their results, it's away from home where actually they're a little bit more competitive.
Yeah.
It's their home games where they're getting beaten easily. I mean, their last couple of away games sort of losing by a goal. But it's hard to see beyond the Bournemouth win. I think Chris Wilder was pretty disappointed and upset with the performance of some of his players. And it sounds as if he's going to drop a few of the older players and bring in some of these young players who came on in the second half and sort of were a little bit more competitive and had a bit of a go. So, but I can't see anything beyond a Bournemouth home win.
Yeah, I just think that Sheffield United will score. When they play on these tight pitches, they route one. They don't try and create many chances through the middle of park. So set pieces, they'll be a threat. I think they'll score. But Bournemouth to win, both teams to score at 16-10, that does look the right play to me. Another game, they're giving Crystal Palace. I can't believe the betting. I know Luton had a bad result last week against Villa, but their performance was good. This could be the upset for me, Steve. I don't make Crystal Palace 8-10 good things. Do you?
Well, look, Luton, have a go in all their games, but they've lost the last few. Even though they've been competitive. Obviously, the City game was when they played in the cup. I mean, that was a little bit different. But they've got a few injuries, and their squad depth is not that strong. It'd be interesting to see, obviously, Palace with under the new manager, whether or not, because last time out at home they beat Burnley, but Burnley had a player off. So I think this would be a close game. I think it'd be closer than the betting shows. Yeah. Luton can't afford to keep losing. I mean, they are in that relegation spot. Palace, on the other hand, could look at this and think, we win this and we pull away. So I think it could be a tight game, but I think there'd certainly be goals.
Yeah, so do I. 8-10, both teams to score. I think that's a gift. I like Luton. Now, I know Adebayor may not be missing, but they were competitive against Palace, other than Man City in the Cup. Against Man United, Villa, they gave them a game. Yeah, this is 8-10. I wouldn't be taking that. Wolves, Fulham. Steve, I told you last week, I think your boys will beat Brighton. You hesitated. Yeah. You got a good chance again here, Steve. Your boys are on a roll. Wolves are hit and miss. This is another great opportunity for you.
I think you're right. I think we do have a good chance here. It also depends. I mean, Wolves are without Hwang, as we know, and we don't know if Neto is going to have recovered, which obviously is, and the Cunha as well, makes a huge difference for them. Defensively, they're strong Wolves, but we're playing. We're going forward. We look dangerous. I mean, we looked. At United and against Brighton, we could have scored more goals. He's got an embarrassment of riches at the moment, apart from Jimenez. I think we've got an entirely fit squad. So, Marco Silva has to decide, what is his best 11 for this particular game. I fancy us to get something. I think, it may well be that we get no more than a point, but I'd be disappointed if we don't get something.
Yeah, I took 40-10 Fulham to score over 1.5 goals. Jeez. I think Wolves will have one eye on the cup. They've got Coventry next. Why rest Neto and so on, where you win that, you're in the semi-finals. They're not going down, Wolves. Great opportunity for you, Steve. I don't see you getting beat. Arsenal, Brentford.
1-4.
Should it be how many?
Well, I think the thing is Brentford they've obviously got key defenders out. Yeah. And I think that really is the difference. Obviously, they've got Tony back, but I think the betting again is very one-sided. But when you look at results in recent weeks, you expect Arsenal to win, and I think they will. And I think the key there is that they're all scoring. They're not relying on one player. Jesus has been out, came back second half, but everyone's scoring goals. All six different goal scorers on at Sheffield United. Yeah. I think Arsenal will win this. I think they will win it fairly comfortably, but Brentford will give them a game. I don't think that they won't roll over like Sheffield United did.
Yeah, 18-10 Arsenal to win, both teams to score.
That Arsenal, the first team in the Premier League to win 3 games in a row by 5 goals or more. History of the Premier League. They scored
21 goals in the last 5 games. Was it done? Let's hope it continues.
Let's hope it doesn't.
Anyway, on to our next page, Steve. We've got Aston Villa, Tottenham, which should be an absolute humdinger. Paul, what do you think?
I think it'll be a very good game. Aston Villa were looking very good against Luton. Then Luton just tore them apart, and it was 2-2. There was only going to be one winner, and boom, just like the late Liverpool goal, they got a late goal and they beat Luton. I think we're a good side. We've got a lot of players apart from Richarlison, which I'm pleased is not playing. I think we've got a chance if we can bring in Johnson for Werner. That's my opinion. We've got a chance. It'll be a very tough game. Could go either way.
Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, look, this is a game that Tottenham probably probably more so that Villa can't afford to lose, because obviously if Villa win, there becomes a little bit of a gap between fourth and fifth.
Yeah.
This could go either way. I think Villa obviously want to win it, but they play tonight, Villa. They've got to put out a strong side tonight, so that might help Tottenham. And I think we're not sure if Richarlison will be fit or not, but whether or not they'll play him. But I think Tottenham, this is a huge game, and I think any result is possible here.
Yeah,
Tottenham are strong away from home; they don't lose many. So this for me, this other than the Liverpool City game, this is the game of the weekend.
Yeah, for me, this is going to be my each-way value bet of the weekend. I'm all over Spurs here. Aston Villa are going to play their best team tonight. They have no option. Their sparkling home form isn't as great. As I said, I was going to make Spurs 17-10 my value bet, but I've got one other. I think Spurs 12-10 to score over 1.5 goals. It is the right play. There has to be goals in this.
They've got to go for it.
It's over 2.5 goals is 1-3. Villa can't defend, neither can Spurs.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if both teams score in each half, but I think 17-10 Spurs is a great bet, and we'll be having a few pound of mine on Sunday. Brighton 7-10 against Notts Forest, Steve. Yeah, I just can't get my head around Brighton.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, again, it's based just on league form and league position, but you've got Brighton putting out their strongest. You'd assume he'll play his strongest available side tonight against the Forest side that feel hard done by after what happened to them last weekend. I think that this is going to be a lot closer than the betting shows, and I think Forest are capable of getting something there, because I think they would have had a whole week. They're probably stewing over that referee decision, and I think that they could get something. Brighton, had a lot of a game last weekend against us, but we could have had more than 3. Yeah. And I think, if Forest attack them, I think this could be a lot closer than the betting shows. Yeah,
I totally agree. And if you have a look at Notts Forest's best performances, remember they went to Newcastle, scored 4. Yeah, this is going to be a counter-attack situation for me again, Steve. I just think win and draw Forest at 12-10 is a great price. West Ham, Burnley, Steve. West Ham playing Germany tonight, but surely they've got to beat Burnley.
You would think so. I mean, Burnley seems to have been playing a little better away from home than at home.
Yeah.
But again, they're in that situation now where, same as Sheffield United, they're adrift and they can't afford to keep losing. I can't see, personally, I can't see anything other than a home win, but I think Burnley will be competitive because they're running out of games. And they know that they can't keep losing. West Ham, on the other hand, I think will play a stronger side tonight. But they've had a couple of good wins recently. Good win away at Everton, and I think that they probably will be too strong for them.
Yeah, I just can't trust Burnley. I went for them last week. They had one chance. I thought it could have been a goal, but other than that, they were woeful. They cannot have me again. They've
lost 4 away games.
Yeah, they just don't look like they're going to do anything. And if West Ham can't get a result here, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Steve, the big game of the weekend, Liverpool, Man City. Who you on?
Who you on?
Well, look, I think it's look, if Liverpool had all their players back, then I think you really were in for a game. But Man City, I thought, once they voted, they just looked imperious. I mean, it was, they were always going to score against United, and in the end, very comfortable winners. They're just looking very, very strong at the moment. Obviously, De Bruyne is back. Foden is playing out of his skin. I just think whatever side Liverpool put out, and unfortunately, they are still going to be without some key players. I just think City could be too strong for them.
Yeah, well, I'll be there, so let's see what happens. But Liverpool's lost 25 home league games, Steve. How many do you think they've lost? None. 20 wins and 5 draws. They lost 25. I just think this will be more of a game than, Man City. They've rested all the big guns, obviously. Pep knows that if he doesn't win this game, the title's in Liverpool's hands, because they've got all the lesser sides to play, where Man City are at Arsenal, but let's hope it's a humdinger. Monday night, Chelsea, Newcastle. Steve, other than goals, who do you fancy?
Yeah, again, you're not sure what you're going to get from either team. I mean, Newcastle away, very up and down. Chelsea, full stop. You're not sure what you're going to get. I think that on balance, I think Chelsea might edge it, but I can see there being a sort of a score draw.
Yeah, I think this has got 2-2 written all over it. 16-10, Newcastle to score over 1.5 goals. Got to have a bet. That it will be. On to the championship, Steve. And we won't go through the results from midweek, even though my boys Preston postponed because of a fire near St Mary's. But big game, Yorkshire Derby on Friday, Sheffield Wednesday, who've come right against an informed Leeds team. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, this a few weeks ago, you would have said this is a nailed on away win.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday have hauled themselves up. They've won 4 in a row, and they're still in the bottom 3, but they are right up there now with a chance. Having said that, Leeds, are still on a run. Weren't overly convincing the other night at home to Stoke. Stoke had them hanging on a bit, but I still think that Leeds, with their big guns, Somerville and Nonto up front, I think they'll be a little bit too strong. But this really will be a good game to watch. It'll be a great atmosphere, huge crowd.
Yeah. 6-10 Leeds all over. Cardiff City, a great result last night against Ipswich. You're second place and on a bit of a roll, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, Cardiff have come good in the last couple of weeks. Had a couple of good wins. Ipswich, when we thought they're having a wobble, they've come good with consecutive wins and find themselves sitting in second place. So, I think Ipswich are going to look at this and think this is another game that they can win and keep pressure on Leicester.
Yeah, 6 league wins in a row, 3 away from home. You've got to fancy them. But Cardiff, all of a sudden, they stopped giving away goals. But early kickoffs, I'm always wary of. But Ipswich of the 2 sides. Blackburn Rovers, Plymouth Argyle, Steve. 2 sides that seem to have lost the plot lately.
They are struggling a bit. But I think the difference is Blackburn have got Sammy Smodics, who is the top scorer in the championship. Scores almost every game. And I think if he's on target, they should win. Plymouth aren't travelling very well. They're not having a particularly good run. They had a good result the other day, but away. But I just think Blackburn might be just a little too strong for them.
Yeah, 8-10 over 2.5 goals. My suggestion. The big game in the championship is Hull City Leicester.
6+1.
How do you see it, Steve?
Yeah, I like Hull. I think they're playing really well. They got held up the other night by Birmingham, but they've been on a good run recently.
Yeah.
Beaten that win at Southampton was a big win. Held West Brom. I think that the betting, I think that there's quite a bit of value in that for Hull City.
23-10. I know they drew 0-0 with Preston last weekend, and my mates at Deepdale said 2 fair sides cancelled each other out. We said they were impressed with what they saw with Hull City. But Leicester, they are the class act, even though they haven't been performing like it lately, so should be a good game. On to our next page, Millwall Birmingham. How do you see it?
Yeah, Millwall have just seemed to turn the corner, obviously with the new manager and the sort of 2 wins and a draw in their last 3. Birmingham, have been close. I mean, they're losing games, scoring goals but losing games. Obviously beaten at home by Southampton. The other got a fighting draw at Hull. I fancy Millwall though. I think there's going to be a decent crowd. Obviously, the atmosphere is always a little bit feral at the Den, but I fancy Millwall. They've stopped giving goals away.
Yeah,
Feral.
Nice and tight. 1-1 written all over it. 7-1's my suggestion. Norwich City surely have got to outclass Rotherham, even though they got beat last night.
Yeah, I think. Well, last night, by the sounds of it, they were 1-up and good value. Had a player sent off. Got a red card in the first half, and that was it. But Middlesbrough sort of scored and took over. You can't see anything other than a home win. Rotherham are down effectively. They're 20 points adrift with 10 games to go. They might pull off the odd win here or there, but I think everyone looks at that league table. Norwich can't afford to slip up. But I think that they'll win comfortably.
3-0 fallen written all over it. Over 2.5 goals. Both teams to score 28-10. Can't believe it.
But could be a Preston.
Preston versus Stoke City. Come on, boys. Get a result, Steve.
Well, I they can. I mean, obviously they need to if they want to keep up with the playoff place. They need to. Stoke, on the other hand, had a win last week, but then lost during the week to Leeds. Find themselves still in the bottom 3. They can't afford to lose. So, I think the worry is this could be one of Preston's famous 0-0s. But otherwise, I think if there was to be a winner, I would certainly go with the home team.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Steve. Should be a tight game, but Stoke City are third bottom, so they can't sit back and play for the point. But
if you went the game, Bud, where would you sit?
I'd be in with a band behind the goals.
Behind
and
the
Bill
goals.
Shankly end.
With a band playing.
They got a band at the top.
Like a mariachi band.
A couple of Mansfield boys in there, but I'll go and sit with the mob at behind the goal. I like sitting behind the goal.
Okay.
QPR Middlesbrough, Steve. The betting is shortened this morning after last night's performance, but
I think this could be an entertaining game. Certainly, I think both teams will score. Middlesbrough have fallen away from a playoff position, so you know that Michael Carrick is sort of playing, just for next season almost, to see if some of the young kids do well. QPR, look, they need the points. They're still far too close for comfort. They're one of the form teams, and I think looking at the way that the teams have been playing recently, QPR, I think, might just edge it.
My value bet, Steve, I watched them last night against West Brom on ESPN. It's one of the best games. QPR, one of the best games I've seen this season. We're on already, but the price is shortened this morning. But what a performance. I think that 18 corners against West Brom, who are one of the top teams in the league. They equalised last minute, but Middlesbrough are in trouble here, as long as they perform like that. But QPR to me, 18-10. I think it's 15-16-10, but QPR for me. Okay, the next game we got, Steve, Southampton-Sunderland. Obviously with the fire last night near St Mary's, Southampton will be nice and fresh. Against a Sunderland team that have lost 5 in a row. Should be a comfortable home victory.
You would think so. Southampton obviously came back with a win last week, but they can't afford to slip up. Southampton, obviously with Ipswich winning, Leeds winning, they've got to keep pace. I think that things have obviously, the rails have come off a little bit, the wheels have come off for Sunderland. I think Southampton home win for me. Okay,
Watford, Coventry.
Your brother's team?
Yeah, again, you're not sure what you're going to get with Watford. Struggled to a point last night at home. Coventry had a big win, but that was against Rotherham. Obviously, they got one eye on the cup. I think this is the sort of game they could be. I think both teams will score, but I wonder if they'll cancel each other out.
Yeah, I agree. Score draw 24-10 looks the right way. Huddersfield, West Brom. I was impressed with West Brom, even though they did get outplayed. But Huddersfield cost me a few grand last night, not scoring at Cardiff. West Brom, Steve.
Well, having sort of dropped points last night, they can't afford to drop points again. Yeah. On the other hand, Huddersfield can't afford to lose because they are in that relegation mix. I think this will be a close game. Huddersfield at home are making themselves hard to beat, but West Brom are going to look at that and think, we need to go there and get a result. And I think they will. I think they will be too strong. Yeah.
Bristol City, Swansea City, Steve. Sunday lunchtime kickoff. How do you see it?
Yeah, Bristol. Well, Bristol, by all accounts, played very well at Ipswich and missed some chances to go more than one clear and then got caught at the end. Swansea been a bit tidier recently, but I think they let me down recently. But I think Bristol City could probably just be too strong.
Yeah, big goals in that game. Always a bit wary of these lunchtime kickoffs, but this one there should be goals in it. Steve, I need your best bet and your value bet, please.
Yeah, I'm going to go for West Brom. I think that they've got that playoff place, and I think they don't want to give that up lightly. And I think they'll just be a little bit too strong for Huddersfield. Yeah, and value, tricky one. But I'm going to go for Hull City. I think they've been playing well, hard to beat, and I think they're looking at the playoff position and knowing that they've got to get a result. And I think they might just upset the apple cart.
All right, Steve, I'm on Real Betis in Spain, 11-10, and I'm on QPR, 15-10 for my value bet. Steve,
all the best.
Thanks as always. We'll speak over the weekend.
Yeah, have a good trip. Talk to you soon. Bye, Paul.
Best, cheers, Steve. PSL, Tuesday results. Amazulu Swallows, one apiece.
Swallows, 95th minute equaliser.
Kaiser Chiefs got a win over Arrows.
Brilliant goal, Paul.
What was it,
Brilliant goal, 1-0, but not the best of games.
And Stellenbosch won again away at Cape Town City.
I missed a run away for Cape Town City late on, but Mr. Barker, Stephen's doing a great job there.
He's doing a very good job. Yeah. Wednesday results quickly. Pirates 1-1 Spurs.
Well, I watched it. It was one-way traffic, and then they got cock-a-hoop, and Cape Town Spurs equalised, and they're going for the winner. Playing come right, Cape Town Spurs.
Chipper thump Richard Bay 3-0.
Red card, and it was one-way traffic.
Sekakune beat Royal AM.
They're not a bad team, Paul. They're one of the form teams. Royal AM struggling.
Postponed Supersport Polokwane and TS Galaxy against Sundowns. Right, let's go to fixtures this week. Starting off with Pirates on Saturday.
Paul, the big game. I like Pirates of the two teams, Paul. I'm not impressed with Chiefs. Pirates looked like they had one on this game.
14 to
10 Pirates all day.
Stellenbosch win again to beat
Paul, they
Cape
should,
Town.
but Cape Town Spurs have come well. They've got 7 points
They've
from the
won a
last
lot of
3 games. Yeah, they're fighting hard. Both teams to score 12 to 10, good things.
Morocco Swallows who drew.
Paul, that 1 in 10 Swallows. Steve Compella's gone. Of the two teams, Sekakuna is the right team, but the draw a big player.
Supersport Amazulu.
Paul, disappointed when I watch Amazulu. They always give the big teams a game, but Supersport United 7 to 10, Paul.
And 3 to 10 Sundowns to beat
Paul,
Chipper.
Class act, they're
that good.
the 8 of them
Why are they
played
so
in
far ahead of the
they're
other
by the
team?
best
Money,
players,
money,
but all play for Bafana as well. So 3 to 10 looks a gift.
Richards Bay against TS Galaxy.
Paul, Richards Bay, they play this game's in Umlazi. The draw, Paul. They give nothing away. TS Galaxy, bad result last week, losing at Cape Town Spurs. I expect them to improve. 21 to 10.
Polokwane City.
I like Polokwane, Paul. Arrows have lost 9 to 10. Again, heading one ways. Polokwane at home, tough to beat. 12 to 10. It's a decent price.
Would you take Cape Town City to win away?
Paul, no. Paul, they've only won one of the last 6. This Eric Tinkler's team, he must be going off his head. Another game, Paul. The draw looks the right way to go.
All right, give me your bets, Budge.
Yeah, Paul, we start off with score 6, and I'm on the field in the Man United Everton game. I'm bankering Bournemouth to beat Sheffield United. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw against Luton. The field in the Wolves Fulham clash. Leicester City win and draw at Hull City, and I've got a bank Arsenal to beat Brentford 2-1-6. On to our second Soccer 6 on Saturday. I'm going the field in the Man United Everton game. I'm going for Pirates to beat Kaizer Chiefs, Crystal Palace to beat Luton Town, the field in the Wolves Fulham game, Supersport United win and draw against Amazulu, and Sekakuna United to avoid defeat against Swallows 2-1-6.
The big one.
On to the score 10. Yeah, it is a carryover, Paul. It's about 50 grand in it.
Wow.
So, nice money. I've gone the field in the Man United Everton game. Ipswich to avoid defeat at Cardiff City. Bankering Bournemouth to beat Sheffield United. Crystal Palace win and draw against Luton Town. The field in the Wolves versus Fulham match. On to the second page. I don't see Leicester losing at Hull City. Norwich should be too good for Rotherham United. I'm throwing the draw in with my beloved Preston North End at home to Stoke City. No doubt. And Southampton to be too good for Southampton, and Arsenal to beat Brentford 288. On to the Soccer 13 for the weekend. I'm banking Arsenal to beat Brentford. Starting with Fulham to avoid defeat at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Bournemouth to beat Sheffield United. Crystal Palace to beat Luton. Blackburn Rovers win and draw against Plymouth Argyle. Chancing Leicester to win at Hull City. Millwall win and draw against Birmingham City. On to the second page. Norwich City to beat Rotherham United. Preston North End win and draw at home against Stoke City. And Queen's Park Rangers win and draw against Middlesbrough. Southampton should be too good for Sunderland. Siding with Coventry City to avoid defeat at Watford. And Blackpool win and draw against Portsmouth 256.
My favourite page?
Budgie's bets. Yeah, Paul, I've gone Arsenal to beat Brentford and both teams to score. I think this has got 4-1, 5-1 written all over it. I'm going over 2.5 goals, both teams to score, yes. Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, and Chelsea, Newcastle.
I like that.
2,700 to 200. My team goals only, I'm going Crystal Palace, Fulham, Tottenham Hotspur, Newcastle United, all to score over 1.5 goals or a minimum of 2. Who's at Fulham? 3,200 to 200. On to the championship, I'm going over 2.5 goals, both teams to score, no. Norwich City, Rotherham, so that's 3-0, 4-0, either way. I'm going Southampton to beat Sunderland and over 2.5 total goals, and over 2.5 goals in the Blackburn Plymouth Argyle game, 2,500 to 200. I've had to throw an extra side in to get better odds here. Both teams to score in the championship. I'm going Blackburn Plymouth, Millwall Birmingham City, QPR Middlesbrough, Huddersfield West Brom, and Bristol City Swansea City, 4,000 to 200. On to Spain. I'm going Real
Omelette.
Betis to beat Villarreal, who play in the Europa League tonight, and both teams to score. And then over 2.5 goals in the Cadiz, Atletico Madrid, and Almeria versus Sevilla fixtures. 2,900 to 200. And our Collis King, 6 or nix. I'm going Norwich to beat Rotherham, Southampton to beat Sunderland, Barcelona to beat Mallorca on Friday, Real Madrid to beat Celta Vigo, Real Betis to beat Villarreal, and Lazio on Monday to beat Udinese. 2,900 to 200.
Well played, Budge. Well played. Don't forget, Budge is going overseas, so we have to get the last one standing bets and just refresh people
Yeah,
here.
Paul, I will send everybody this afternoon, let them know what the latest is. Most of the guys are good, Paul.
Yeah.
But, if I'm on the train, the last thing I need, and the people understand, so there's not a problem.
So until next time, stay on side.